Reality has returned to the workforce, at the workplace, I should say. The employer has taken back a lot of power over the employee. Or, as the Wall Street Journal puts it, the boss has had it with all the office activists. The Journal is referring specifically to Microsoft and its fast action to deal with anti-Israel activists. They had occupied a top executive office, shutting it down. Well, you can't do that these days. Several people were fired. Microsoft put the foot down. Microsoft's not alone. Alphabet, Tesla, JP Morgan Chase, they've recently clamped down on political activism that affects the functioning of the company. Not that long ago, employers were bending over backwards to accommodate their employees. But times change. For a start, the job market has tightened, especially for lower-level tech workers. AI is taking those jobs, and the tech companies that are spending big money on AI, they've been forced to cut costs. Your job is not secure, so don't rock the boat. And watch out, Donald Trump is in the Oval Office, and he does not take kindly to anything woke. Your boss has to please the president, not annoy him by pandering to activists. So get back to work in the office. A lot of work-from-homers have been ordered back. And by the way, knock off the internal political discussions. Google's Sundar Pichai says this is not a business. This is a business, not the place for political debate. The Journal goes back to Jason Fried. Remember him? He's the CEO of 37 Signals. Back in 2021, he issued a memo telling his staff to limit societal and political discussions at work. There was uproar at that. Some employees quit. Fried actually had to apologize. 4 years later, Fried says, it's just all gone now. We're just focused on the work. It's over, folks. Love it or hate it, the boss is back. Second hour of Varney just getting started. Former White House Press Secretary Ari Fleischer joins us now. The boss is back, and the workers are back in the office. You approve?
Oh, we'll all be better off if this trend continues. Look, I think what happened here in American society is around the 2010s, a lot of kids on college campuses started getting educated by faculty and the administrations of schools. Silence is violence. You need to speak out. This activism from the left. And it became their mantra. And then after George Floyd's murder, boy, did it kick into high gear, and people demanded corporations to speak out. Activist groups forced corporations to speak out. In this society, we went too far. And corporate executives went too far under pressure. Thank goodness it's now going back to the way it should be. Corporations, their job, businesses' job, is to make money for all their employees, whoever they are, whatever their ideology is. But you practice your ideology outside the office, not inside it.
That's right. President Trump has floated the idea of hosting a pre-midterm GOP convention. Listen to what White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt had to say about that.
I think he's very proud of the accomplishments and the achievements of his administration, as he should be. The most secure border in United States history, a crackdown on crime here in our nation's capital. So there's so much for Republicans and for the president and for Americans across the country to be proud of, and I think the president wants to see that celebrated.
Ari, the DNC is also considering hosting a gathering ahead of the midterms. Why are we seeing both political parties consider this kind of thing?
It's a superb idea for Donald Trump and for Republicans to do this, and here's why. Nationalizing the election is essential to Republican success. On the Democrat side, it's already nationalized. The only issue they run on is anti-Donald Trump. They lack ideas, they lack coherent ideology or unity, but they are united in opposition to Trump. And that's a powerful force to vote against somebody. Donald Trump does best when it's a presidential year. Republicans do best when it's a presidential year. And to be specific, in 2024 presidential election, the one we just had, roughly 155 million people voted. In the 2022 midterm, only about 107 million people voted. A 48 million person drop-off. That drop-off is often Donald Trump, MAGA, not very political people who love Trump, don't really care about Republicans. Republicans need to energize that group and get a national turnout. If Donald Trump and the Republicans hold such a convention, it does help nationalize the election. boosts turnout for Republicans.
They will do it. For those reasons, they will do it. Harry Fleischer, it's always a pleasure. And thank you very much for joining us today. Have a great weekend, sir. Thank you.